personality of Godhead.
Supreme personality of Godhead.
With his mind,
With his mind,
speech,
speech,
sight,
sight,
and actions,
actions,
and thus
thus
he became silent,
he became silent.
and his breathing stopped. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So the context is now Bhīṣmadeva has finished his prayers to Lord Krishna, and he has just left his body. When he has left his body, he has merged himself along with his mind, speech, sight,
Right.
and
Actions.
normally we say kaya, manasa, vacha. What is kaya? Body. Manasa means mind. Vacha means speech. So here it is mind and speech is there, but sight and actions got added. Okay. So let's understand this further in the purport nicely. So the stage attained by Bhīṣmadeva while quitting his material body is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi, because he merged his self into thinking of the Lord and his mind into remembering his different activities. He chanted the glories of the Lord, and by his sight he began to see the Lord personally present before him. And thus all his activities became concentrated upon the Lord without deviation. This is the highest stage of perfection, and it is possible for everyone to attain this stage by practice of devotional service. Shall I enlarge the screen a little bit? Huh? Little bit is required. Now is it okay? Monish? Why is it okay? Mm. Mm. So this is a very interesting section of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Why it is interesting? Not because Bhīṣmadeva left the world. It is interesting because Bhīṣmadeva has achieved his ultimate objective. His ultimate goal. Bhīṣmadeva has achieved ultimate goal, and along with that, he has showed a path in which we also can take. Okay. So, what is this Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Prabhupada, Bhagavatam has used the word aveshya. Aveshya. Where is this word aveshya is there? So whenever we get this kind of doubts, no, we should nicely study Bhagavatam. I will go back. First canto, 9th chapter. Still not able to remember? So many important verses are there. Ah. 8.10 Prayanakale manasa chalena paktyo yukto yoga balena chaiva bhruvor madhye pranam aveshya. Aveshya. Aveshya is establishing here. In the 8th chapter, Aveshya is establishing. But the same Aveshya in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you see, Maya Aveshya Mano Emam, right? Huh? Aveshya means fixing one's mind, meditating, merging, engaging. See, so many different interesting meanings are there, right? Becoming absorbed, being fully absorbed, concentrating. These are all the various meanings of the word avesha. What are all they? Fixing one's mind, being absorbed, meditating, having merged in, engaging. What is engaging? Means you are engaging, you are doing some work. Okay. When you are actually doing some work, say you are doing some cooking, you are doing some other puja, whatever you are doing, activities you are doing at home, you are actually meditating on that work. Okay. Maybe if the work has become very mechanical and then you are forgetting to meditate, that's a different thing. But otherwise, you are actually focusing on that work, right? So, Avesha means it has this kind of different meanings in various contexts. So here Prabhupada uses the word Avesha means having merged in. Hmm? So this is called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. What is Nirvikalpa Samadhi? That Prabhupada explains here only here that he became concentrated upon the Lord without deviation. Huh? He has focused exclusively on just the Lord. The conception of himself is lost because he is completely focused on the Lord. He is completely imbued and absorbed in Lord. So in this way, does it mean that he lost his personality? No, he has not lost his personality. He forgot himself. He got fully absorbed in the Lord. Hmm? So this can be achieved. This is the highest stage of perfection. Hmm? So there is another verse in the uh, previous chapters when Narada meets Vyasadeva. So in that context, he says that what that famous verse? I'm forgetting that. That Kalena Sarvatra Kabira Namhasa. What are the first three lines? Kalena Namsa Kabira Namsaha. That you can go up to the topmost planet and go down to the downmost planet. Okay, you should try to focus on achieving something with that which you cannot go to the which you cannot get from the highest planet to the lowest planet. Huh? But we should achieve something which is beyond what can be achieved in this all the 14 planetary systems. Okay, that is the highest, and that highest is this perfection. That's the highest stage of perfection wherein one go back to Lord Krishna. The devotional service of the Lord consists of nine principle of service activities. Achha, before that, see, normally, uh, if you go to any other forms of yoga or any other forms of practices, primarily they say at one point in time, you should give up the Janasanga and go to a secluded place and you should practice eventually. But here we see Bhīṣmadeva, he was right in the politics, right in the affairs of the entire world, but yet he achieved the highest. Right? So now what will happen in a politics? In politics, first of all, when you start seeing forms. The moment you start seeing form, that form, this body, that body, all of those things and all, it means that itself is a duality. Correct, no? First is your body and others' body is different. Okay. Next comes whether that body is favorable to me or not favorable to me. If it is favorable, I will like it. If it is not favorable, I don't like it. So the body may be favorable, but then the mind may not be favorable. Okay, of that person. So then that is also another thing. So we keep contemplating all throughout our life, assessing. Moment eyes are there, huh? We have this problem, right? That's why Bilwamanga Thakura even pierced off his eyes, right? Because eyes means the problem is the forms will be visible. But actually we don't belong to any of this material form, right? So, but still, because Bhīṣmadeva has achieved the highest stage of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, his sight was constantly on Lord Sri Krishna. And he was remembering his thing. So how did he merge each of them? There is this mind by thinking about the activities of Lord, drishti by seeing the Lord act constantly, vak continuously talking about the Lord, and then vritti activities. So activities also became concentrated upon the Lord. So, what are the the devotional service of the Lord consists of nine principles of service activities, and they are hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet, worshipping, praying, executing the orders, fraternizing, and fully surrendering. Any one of them or all of them are equally competent to avoid the desired result, but they require to be practiced persistently under the guidance of an expert devotee of the Lord. So, what is required here? One have to persistently practice these any of the nine principles of devotional service. What are the nine principles of devotional service? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam,
Vandanam.
Dasyam, Chakyam, Vandanam. Atmanive. Okay, nine are there, right? Hmm? So, in any of these nine forms of devotional service, are quite competent to take a person out of this world. Okay, so we practice not only one, we practice multiple things. The first item, hearing, is the most important item of all, and therefore, hearing of the Bhagavad Gita and later on Srimad Bhagavatam is essential for the serious candidate who wants to attain the stage of Bhīṣmadeva at the end. So, if somebody wants to attain the stage of Bhīṣmadeva, okay, what that serious candidate should do? Constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. The unique situation at the Bhishmadeva's time of death can be attained even though Lord Krishna may not be present. Okay? We may complain, oh, what is there for Krishna? For Bhishmadeva, Krishna is there, for me is not there. Nothing like that. His words of the Bhagavad Gita or those of Srimad Bhagavatam are identical with the Lord. This is one of the first questions asked by the sages of the Naimisharanya, right? No? Now that Krishna has gone to his abode, okay, where can the people of Kali Yuga can take shelter? So that is when Krishna went, Srimad Bhagavatam came. Okay. They are the sound incarnations of the Lord, and one can fully utilize them to be entitled to attain the stage of Sri Bhishmadeva, who was one of the eight Vasus. By the way, who is Bhishmadeva? Definitely he is a pure devotee. But in his previous life he was a Devata, right? Vasus means one of the conditioned souls. Means in that particular life of whatever 300 years Bhishmadeva lived, he has attained that perfect stage. Hmm. So every man or animal must die at a certain stage of life. But one who dies like Bhishmadeva attains perfection. And one who dies forced by the laws of nature dies like an animal. Hmm? And one who dies forced by the laws of nature, like we all, we die like an animal. But if we want to stay, see, if you want to die like a human being, so how we should die? We should die like the way Bhishmadeva attained perfection. That is the difference between a man and an animal, and the human form of life is especially meant for dying like Bhishmadeva. So that's a very important aspect that अथात जन्माद्यस्यतः अथातो ब्रह्म जिज्ञासः. These are the statements of the Vedanta Sutra, wherein the Lord prescribes that now that we have attained this very rare human form of life, uh, what is the advantage of the human form of life? There is a sense of discrimination. There is a sense of accepting a short-term pain for long-term goal, right? The concept of doing austerities. So we should, if anyway we have that sense of discrimination to take up short-term pain for long-term success, why not look for the long-term highest success? So hence, one should strive, to live like the way Bhīṣmadeva has lived. So next we'll read the next verse. Sampadyamanam agnaya Bhīṣmam brahmani nishkale sarve babhuvuste tushnim vayamashva vayam shiva dinatyaye vayam shiva dinatyaye sampadyamanam agnaya Bhīṣmam brahmani nishkale sarve babhuvuste tushnim vayam shiva dinatyaye. Sampadyamanam, having merged into Agnaya, after knowing this, Bhishmam, about Sri Bhishmadeva, Brahmani, into the Supreme Absolute, Nishkale, unlimited, Sarve, all present, Babu, they, all of them became Tushnim, silent, Vayam Siva, like the birds, Dina Tyaye, at the end of the day. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charan Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ho. Knowing that Bhīṣmadeva had merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute, all present there became silent like birds at the end of the day. वो merging क्या है? Bhīṣmadeva is a devotee. Huh? What is this merging into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute? Huh? Prabhupada did not change the translation. Sometimes he does change the translations in line with Parampara. But here Prabhupada is saying merged into the unlimited eternity of Supreme Absolute. And all present, who are all present there? Pandavas.
Sages.
Who are all the sages? Not ordinary sages.
Sir.
Vyasa, all the Saptarishis, Asita, Devala, all such great rishis were present just to see how did he pass away? What had been the reason why he has passed away? How he has passed away? Right? So, the great sages are trying to learn from Bhīṣmadeva. We all also can learn a lot. So, I would request devotees to read this purport. This requires a lot of attention. Yes. Somebody can read?
To enter into or become merged unto the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute means to enter the original home of the living being. The living beings are all component parts and parcels of the Absolute Personality of Godhead, and therefore they are eternally related with Him as the servitor and the served.
Okay, so here, what Prabhupada has mentioned in the first statement is to enter into or to become merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute means to enter into the original home of the living being. What is the example Ramanujacharya gives? A green bird entering into the green tree apparently looks merged if you are from a distance, right? The bird has merged into the tree. No, when the bird goes into the tree, it is not, it has gone, it is died. The tree, bird is very much there, tree is very much there, the bird is eating the fruits of the tree and it is enjoying, right? So, if the living entity has gone merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute means to enter into our home, okay, to enter into the original home of the living being. The living beings are all component parts and parcels of the absolute personality of Godhead, and therefore they are eternally related with Him as servitor and the served. Right? So we are what is this? Component parts and parcels. I tried to search, but I didn't get the time. So Shivad Prabhu, or anybody can explain that parts and parcels. Once MPP talks about it in one class, huh? In one of the Bhagavatam classes. Part means being part. Parcel means what?
Inseparable.
Is it inseparable or something else? I'm not able to remember any which way. Okay. So yes, we can take that as one understanding. A component part means we are part of the Lord, but we are also parcel. We are along with Him always, always connected. Okay.
Non-detachable.
Sorry,
Non-detachable.
non-detachable part. Part होता है क्या? You know how it is when detached, not detachable. So like that. So we are always part of the Lord, and we are the parcel. We are along with the Lord. Parcel of the absolute personality of Godhead, and therefore they are eternally related with Him as servitor and the served. Who is served? The Lord is served, and we are the servitor. The Lord is served by. Okay, continue reading.
The Lord is served by all his parts and parcels, as the complete machine is served by its parts and parcels. Any part of the machine removed from the whole is no longer important. Similarly, any part and parcel of the absolute detached from the service of the Lord is useless. The living beings who are in the material world are all disintegrated parts and parcels of the Supreme Whole, and they are no longer as important as the original parts and parcels. There are, however, four integrated living beings who are eternally liberated. The material energy of the Lord, called Durga Sakti, or the superintendent of the person house or prison house, takes charge of the disintegrated parts and parcels, and thus they undergo a conditioned life under the laws of material nature.
Okay, so now what we think now, we think always because we are in this material world, we think we are disconnected, correct? By default, our understanding is we are disconnected from Lord. But actually speaking, you're always connected with the Lord. Okay, so now since we are always connected with the Lord, what is this merging and not merging? You're always connected, simple. Okay, if you are disconnected, you're not disconnected. Actually speaking, even today when we are speaking, we're all conditions, all we are sitting here. Actually, what is happening, the living entity is in Vaikunta. We are in Vaikunta actually, but we are sleeping there. We slept there nicely. Okay, and we are simply seeing this body and identifying that this body is my body. The living entity is transmigrating from one body to another body. So what does it mean? Living entity stopped looking at this body and started looking at some other body. That's all. So we are never disconnected from Lord. Okay. What is this? The material energy of the Lord called as Durga Shakti. What is doing? She's doing? She's taking charge of the disintegrated parts and parcels, and thus they undergo a conditioned life. The living entity, which is always free, which is always progressive, which is always, always want to do better and better, gets conditioned under the laws of material nature. Okay. So when the living becomes, Prabhupada did not say, okay, from the living entity came from Vaikuntha, dropped into the material world. Okay. Even though that kind of descriptions also do exist. Okay. But here in a very succinct manner, Prabhupada says that we got conditioned. What do you mean by conditioned?
Certain way of,
Huh?
a certain way of thinking.
A certain way of thinking. What is a nice example which Amitabh Prabhu gave? You all know? Amitabh Prabhu was a nice example he gave. Okay. If anybody online remembers Amitabh Prabhu's example, many times he has said this example. What do you mean by conditioned life? Okay. So when Amitabh Prabhu, before he joined temple, he was in RSC Kurukshetra. Okay. He used to come between, his college and Delhi, to meet his parents like that. Right. So going in between, near to Delhi, there's a place where all garbage is put. Okay. As soon as the car comes towards that side, hey, close the door, close the door. You can't bear the smell. Can't bear the smell at all. Hmm? But then there are some people who are there who are collecting the garbage. They're not bothered. They're not affected by the smell. Why? They got conditioned by it. So similarly, we living entities, we are thinking first of all we are disconnected from Lord, and now we are debating what is this merge, not merge, all those things and all. Arey yaar, you got conditioned by this Maya. That is the problem. That's why you're thinking merge, not merge, what will happen to me, all those things and that. Nothing will happen to you. You're always there. Okay. You're simply coming under the Maya conception of conditioned life under the laws of material nature. Okay. Next, somebody can read.
When the living being becomes conscious of this fact, he tries to go back to home, back to Godhead, because the spiritual urge of the living being begins. The spiritual urge is called Brahma Jignasa, or successful
Or inquiry.
or inquiry about Brahman. Principally, this Brahman Jignasa is successful by knowledge, renunciation, and devotional service to the Lord. Jnana or the knowledge means to know everything of Brahman. The supreme renunciation means detachment of material affection, and devotional service is revival by practice of the original position of the living being.
Okay, so uh, when we become conscious of the fact that I'm uselessly like a fool, identifying myself with this particular material things, okay, so then comes the urge, jignasa. What do you mean by urge?
Desire.
Huh?
Burning desire, eagerness.
Curious.
Huh? Let's see the English dictionary meaning because it's a very important word used by Prabhupada. Hmm? What do you mean by urge? Try earnestly. It's a verb. Is it a verb or a noun here? Okay, we will see that. A verb means try earnestly or persistently to persuade someone to do something. He urged her to come. Noun, a strong desire or impulse. He felt the urge to giggle. So, is it a noun or is it a verb?
Now,
Contextual.
No, here.
here it's now.
Here it's noun, right? And thus the spiritual urge, okay, of the living being begins. What is that urge? Spiritual urge, a strong desire. So means what? Unless you feel that I am foolishly stuck in this Maya world, I am being influenced by something else, which is not me. It could be so many things like trigunas and so many things, my karma and all of those things. Unless I feel myself distant from these influencing elements, I will not have the spiritual urge, right? So, so we have to feel that. Thus, the spiritual urge of the living being begins. This spiritual urge is called Brahma Jignasa. Now, how is this Brahma Jignasa is successful? By three things. What are the three things? Gnana. Next is what? Tyaga or renunciation. Then Bhakti. Okay, three things are there. Gnana, Tyaga, and Bhakti. By knowledge, renunciation, and devotional service, the revival is the revival by practice of the original position of the living being. The successful living beings, continue reading, the successful living beings.
The successful living beings who are eligible to enter into the realm of absolute accord, the Gyanis, the Yogis, and the Bhaktas, The Gyanis and yogis enter into the impersonal rays of the Supreme, but the Bhaktas enter into the spiritual planets known as the Vaikunthas. In these spiritual planets, the Supreme Lord as Narayana predominates, and the healthy, unconditioned living beings live there by rendering loving service to the Lord in the capacity of servant, friend, parents, and fiancé.
Okay, so now three things: Gnana, Tyaga or Yoga, and Bhakta. Gnana becomes who are following the process of Gnana becomes Gnanis. So those who are following the process of Yoga will become Yogis. The process, somebody who follows the process of Bhakti becomes the Bhakta. Right? So now where does the devotee go? The devotee go to the spiritual planets where Lord Narayana is predominating, and they are called as healthy, unconditioned living entities. So it means we are diseased. We are in the diseased state of affair. They are diseased and unhealthy, diseased or unhealthy conditioned living beings. Okay? But opposite is healthy, unconditioned living beings live there by rendering loving service to the Lord in the capacity of four things. As a Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya Rasas. Hmm? There, the conditioned living beings enjoy life in full freedom with the Lord. Whereas, now comes the statement. Last week, Shivat Prabhu asked this question. Whereas the impersonalist Gnanis and Yogis enter into the impersonal glowing effulgence of the Vaikuntha planets. The Vaikuntha planets are all self-illuminating like the sun, and the rays of Vaikuntha planets are called the Brahma Jyoti. The Brahma Jyoti is spread unlimitedly, and the material world is but a covered portion of an insignificant part of the same Brahma Jyoti. This covering is temporary and therefore it is a sort of illusion. So, where does the illusion exist? The illusion actually exists in one small corner of the Brahma Jyoti. Hmm? And now, what will happen to the impersonalist Gnanis and Yogis? They enter into the impersonal glowing effulgence of the Vaikuntha planets. Bhīṣmadeva, as a pure devotee of the Lord, entered the spiritual realm in one of the Vaikuntha planets where the Lord in his eternal form of Parthasarthi predominates over the unconditioned living beings who are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. The love and affection which bind the Lord and the devotee are exhibited in the case of Bhīṣmadeva. Bhīṣmadeva never forgot the Lord in his transcendental feature as the Parthasarthi, and the Lord was present personally before Bhīṣmadeva while he was passing to the transcendental world. That is the highest perfection of life. Now the question came in my mind. Here the word Prabhupada uses impersonalist Gnanis and Yogis. So is the word impersonalist applicable both to Gnanis and Yogis or only to the Gnanis? This is a question I have asked myself. Correct? Huh? It can be both possibilities are there, right? So if you search, there is one more third canto in the 19th chapter, one verse is there. Okay. While I was searching, I found that verse. So there it is said that among the yogis, there are two types of yogis are there. There are impersonalist yogis and those yogis who have focused extensively on the Paramatma conception and realized the Paramatma conception. So there are two yogis. So from there, once they realize the Paramatma, there are two directions. Either they can go up to become a devotee, they can become a Shantarasa devotee and then become Dasarasa, and all of those things is possible. Or they may come down to become an impersonalist and be in the impersonal Brahman. So that is the understanding which comes out there in that particular place. This covering is temporary and therefore it is okay. So now we have understood this. So where will Bhīṣmadeva has gone? Where did Bhīṣmadeva has gone? He has gone to one of the Vaikuntha planets where Lord Sri Krishna is present as in this Parthasarthi form. So Partha Sarthi form is a transcendental feature, and the Lord was personally present before Bhīṣmadeva while he was passing to the transcendental world. Next, we will read this. Tattadundubhyo nedo deva manavavanvadita shashma shashamshu sadhavo ragnam katpetu pushpavrishtayah. Thereafter, both men and demigods sounded drums in honor, and the honest royal order commenced demonstrations of honor and respect. And from the sky fell showers of flowers. So when Bhishmadeva left this world, uh, yeah, he left in this earthly planet. People from the Devas who are in the higher planetary systems, they think that somebody in the humans are lesser people. Okay, but here when Bhishmadeva is passing away and that information has reached to all of them, they started throwing flowers from the higher planetary systems. Let's read. Purport. You see, nicely Prabhupada starts in the purport itself, in the first line itself, there will be a very nice introduction set in the context. Bhishma Deva was respected both by the human beings and the demigods. Even the Devas, Devatas, Indra, and all of them have great respect for Bhishma Deva. The human beings live on Earth and similar other planets in the Bhuar group of planets, but the demigods live in the Swar or heavenly planets, and all of them knew Bhishmadeva as a great warrior and devotee of the Lord. See, such a great thing, no? People will look forward to get respect from, okay, some few people in his street. Okay, let my name be put against the street name. Sir Ashutosh Mukherjee Lane, Prabhupada says about it. Huh? Some lane, this lane, that lane, we want to put my name against that. Okay. Yesterday I was seeing Google, some Papaya Reddy layout. That layout, this layout. See, you see, we are struggling to put our name against one street or whatever. But here we see Bhishma Deva by his actions, right? He is well known for both things. First, he is also known for his great Kshatriya qualities, that is, his Varna. And he is also known for his great devotion, right? So he has fulfilled on both sides, on the Varna side and also the Ashrama side. Not only in ordinary, well known within the earthly planet, he is well known even the Swargaloka. Who all go to Swargaloka? Those people who have so many pious credits, they are focusing, their target is Swarga. Their target is not earth. Their target is to go to Swarga. They always are focusing on Swarga. After going there, they are seeing, oh, in this earthly planet, such a great personality, Bhishmadeva is there. So, such a great person is Bhishmadeva. As a Mahajana or authority, he was on the level of Brahma, Narada, and Shiva, although he was a human being. That's the great thing of Bhishmadeva. Who are the Dvadas Mahajanas? Brahma, Lord Shiva, Narada, Prahalada, Bali, Janaka, Kumaras. Who else? Abhi 7 ho gaya.
Janaka, Yamaraj,
Yamaraj, Janaka Maharaj over. Parikshit? Parikshit is not listed in that.
Dhruv,
son of Vyasdeva,
Shukadeva.
Sukadeva, yes.
9.
Bhishma.
विश्व को बोलना है, भूल गया. 10 हो गया. और 2 कौन है? द्वादश महाजनास. ठीक है, गूगल पूछ लेंगे, हम भी भूल गया. 12 महाजनास. जनका ओवर.
Basic.
We don't know whether the source is right.
Whether based there was a link.
Okay, Brahma, Narada,
Kapiladeva.
Kapiladeva and Manu. All others we have,
Swayambhu Manu, correct.
all others have all done. Kapiladeva and Swayambhuva Manu. Qualification on a par with the great demigods is possible only on attainment of spiritual perfection. Because he has shown how to become perfect. Thus, Bhīṣmadeva was known all over the universes. You see, Prabhupada uses the word plural, not one universe. Abba, he was known in all the universes. And during his time, interplanetary travel was affected by finer methods than the futile endeavors of mechanical spacecraft. When the distant planets were informed of the passing away of Bhīṣmadeva, all the inhabitants of the upper planets as well as of the earth dropped showers of flowers to show due respect to the departed great personality. This showering of flowers from heaven is a sign of recognition by great demigods, and it should never be compared to the decoration of the dead body. Okay? If that apranasyeva dehasya mandanam lokananjanam. What are the first two lines? Anybody? Apranasya dehasya mandanam lokananjanam. Apranasya dehasya mandanam lokananjanam. Means what? A decoration of a dead body. About that jatis. It's a very important verse. Sorry, I missed you. Apranasya dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastram Tapajapas Tapas Apranasyeva Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. So that's why when you see anything, you should always connect with Prabhupada has used somewhere. Should never be compared to decoration of the dead body. So what is this decoration of dead body? Where is this shloka has come from? The shloka has come from here. Okay. For a person devoid of devotional service, birth in a great family or nation, knowledge of the revealed scriptures, performance of austerities and penance, and chanting of Vedic mantras are like ornaments on a dead body. Such ornaments simply serve the concocted pleasure of the general populace. Because Bhīṣmadeva's body was fully decorated by devotional service. Okay? And hence that body is not apparently dead body. Yeah? And hence that body is very, very glorified body. And hence these, devatas also showered flowers from there. But on the other contrary, if there is a body which is filled with all these revealed scriptures, knowledge, austerities, penances, chanting of Vedic mantras, and so many big, big accomplishments, but devoid of devotional service, then that is simply a decoration of dead body, ornaments of a dead body. The body of Bhīṣmadeva lost its material effects due to being surcharged with the spiritual realization. And thus, the body was spiritualized as when iron becomes red hot when in contact with fire. The body of a fully self-realized soul is not therefore accepted as material. Special ceremonies are observed for such bodies, for such spiritual bodies. The respect and recognition of Bhīṣmadeva are never to be imitated by artificial means, as it has become a fashion to observe the so-called Jayanti ceremony for any and every common man. According to the authorized script Shastras, such a Jayanti ceremony for an ordinary man, however exalted he may be materially, is an offense to the Lord, because Jayanti is reserved for the day when the Lord appears on the earth. Bhīṣmadeva was unique in his activities, and his passing away to the kingdom of God is also unique. So we should challenge our own ideas. We celebrate so many things, right? Ambedkar Jayanti, Gandhi Jayanti, and all of those things and all. Those people, when they came to this world, they are Baddha Jivas. They came with a force of the material world. And when they are leaving, when they are dying, they are also being forced to die by the laws of material nature. Not that like Bhīṣmadeva, he left the world on his own accord when he wants. Only such kind of personalities, their births can be considered as Jayanti because they are Mahajanas. Okay. Otherwise, it will be considered as an offense only. So, by continuous devotional service, constant bhakti, Bhishmadeva's body also became surcharged with spirituality and it lost its material effects. So, that's the great lessons we learn from passing away of Bhishmadeva. In the next section of the Bhagavatam, it is about how Yudhishthira Maharaj received this whole thing, whole episode. So we will take up that in the next, part of the next sessions. Anybody has any questions?
So, questions.
Okay.
First one, you mentioned, right, that one basically, the question, right, where Krishna is not there. His scriptures and everything basically is some incarnation of Lord Krishna, right? Now, obviously, we have seen the videos of Prabhupada was passing, that when he was passing, all the devotees around, he was chanting, right? Now, in real world, basically, everyone is not so lucky to have that, when I did something die, people will be chanting that. So, how to create that? What is the, how it is gets executed? That yes, you're supposed to be hearing them. But in real world, let's say someone dies, was a guarantee that somebody would be talking, like how that is executed? That's the first question. Because we see that Prabhupada, when he's passing away, he was blessed, obviously, he was chanting, right? And usually that doesn't happen in real life.
You are thinking like that. Huh? You are thinking like that. If a devotee, even an ordinary devotee, I have seen many congregation devotees within my last 20 years or 22 years of whatever I am practicing KC, I have seen many congregation devotees, when they were passing away, we were all there.
No, but definitely, let's someone X-ray and the OT, and then while OT, ICU passes by that time, there's nobody around him. Then how that gets carried out?
How he gets, ultimately, how he gets carried away is your question, right?
Yeah.
Simple, whatever MM vapi smaran bhavan tijantante kalevaram. What you are remembering at the time of death. Correct, na?
So, okay, then that is a remember is
correct, na?
Second question is basically, you said that, we know that our soul is like 1/10,000 of hairs, right? So let's only hear this one, okay, healthy bodies, healthy souls in planet. And it's whenever Vishmadev leaves his body, the planet Earth, which form usually they have in that? Like Vaikuntha, you said that they can be friend, they can be, having conjugations with gods.
Based on his desire.
Any form you can say, actually leaving that point from body, as soon as they enter Vaikuntha, they take a body, any shape.
Any shape. Today I want to serve Krishna as a flower, I become flower. Tomorrow I want to serve Krishna as his dust of his lotus feet, I'll become a small dust speck. Day after tomorrow I want to desire that, I want to become Krishna's fan, I can become Krishna's fan. No stopping.
When Vishmadev entered,
no, Krishna is walking now, I'll become a stone. Let him walk on me.
When Vishmadev entered Vaikuntha, he, like, I'm not sure what form he was. He might have been, like, basically, as he was in earth, he was like that, or I don't know what form he might have taken.
If you can ask him.
They also did we have 400 forms, something like that. I don't know what form usually is, basically.
If he has desired Sarupya Mukti, then he would get 400 forms. But he desired only devotion service, he may get only devotion service. So it could be anything, possibility. See, it's a lot of possibilities. It's not straight jacketed only one thing. Because it's all about desire. Okay. Anybody has any questions online?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
I just want to be sure that whether I heard properly. What you had mentioned is the spirit soul is in the spiritual world, but at the same time we are present here. Is that correct? Because my understanding is that we fall down. That means the spirit actually moves away from the spiritual world to the material world, because this is 1/4 of the overall creation,
Hmm.
and they are separated out physically.
Hmm.
So it may be possible for the Lord to be in Goloka as well as, let's say, in various parts of the material world, but not for the jivas.
I'll just show you one very interesting letter. Prabhupada writes to Madhudvisa. Where is that addendum? The annexure to that letter will be there. Not this. Kakataliya logic. Nyaya. Okay. So I would request devotees to read this. Okay. Annexure to this one. This also big debate happened in Australian temple in those days. Okay, Papa Madhudvisa Prabhu couldn't answer these questions. Okay. So he writes to Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, we never had any occasion when we were separated from Krishna. Just like one man is dreaming and he forgets himself. In dream, he creates himself in different forms. Now I am talking, discussing like that. This creation of himself is as seer and subject matter or seen, two things. This creation of himself is as seer and subject matter or seen, two things. But as soon as the dream is over, the scene disappears. Huh? But the seer remains. Now he is in his original position. Our separation from Krishna is like that. We dream this body and so many relationships with other things. First, the attachment comes to enjoy sense gratification. Even with Krishna, desire for sense gratification is there. There is a dormant attitude for forgetting Krishna and creating an atmosphere for enjoying independently. Just like at the edge of the beach, sometimes the water covers, sometimes there is dry and coming and going. Our position is like that, sometimes covered, sometimes free, just like at the edge of the tide. As soon as you forget, immediately the illusion is there. Just like as soon as we sleep, dream is there. Hmm? We cannot say therefore that we are not with Krishna. As soon as we try to become Lord, immediately we are covered by Maya. Formerly we were with Krishna in his Leela or sport, but this covering of Maya may be of very, very long duration. Therefore, many creations are coming and going. Due to this long period of time, it is sometimes said that we are ever conditioned. But this his long duration of time becomes very insignificant when one actually comes to Krishna consciousness. Just like in a dream, we are thinking very long time, but as soon as we are awakened, we look at our watch and see it has been a moment only. Just like with Krishna's friends, they were kept asleep for 1 year by Brahma. But when they woke up and Krishna returned before them, they considered that only a moment has passed away. So this dreaming condition is called non-liberated life. And this is just like a dream. Although in this material calculation it is a long, long period, as soon as we come to Krishna consciousness, then this period is considered as a second. For example, Jaya and Vijaya. They had their Leela with Krishna, but they had to come down for their little mistake. They were given mukti emerging into the Brahma Sayuja after being killed 3 times as demons. This Brahma Sayuja mukti is non-permanent. Every living entity wants pleasure, but Brahma Sayuja is minus pleasure. There is eternal existence only. So when they do not find a transcendental bliss, just they fall down to make a compromise with material bliss. Just like Vivekananda founded so many schools and hospitals. So even Lord Brahma, he's still material and wants to lord it over. He may come down to become a germ, but then he may rise up to Krishna consciousness and go back to home, back to Godhead. This is the position. So when I say yes, there is eternal Leela with Krishna, that means on the evidence of Jaya Vijaya. Unless one develops full devotional service to Krishna, he goes up only up to Brahma Sayuja but falls down. But after millions and millions of years of keeping oneself away from the Leela of the Lord, When one comes to Krishna consciousness, this period becomes insignificant, just like dreaming. Like that it is there. Okay, so it's a very big letter. I would request devotees to read this. Okay, the long and short of it is, to answer Maharati Prabhu's question, is that yes, this material creation is 1/4. Okay, this material creation is 1/4, and 3/4 is spiritual creation. So 1/4 is Lord's Bahiranga Shakti, and 3/4 is Lord's Antaranga Shakti. But we are Tatastha Shakti. We are sometimes there, sometimes here. So here means what? Here means what? We are seeing that material energy and identifying ourselves with that, getting conditioned by that. But we are actually not moving into the material nature. I would send this entire letter extract. It's a very beautiful letter. We all should read it again, some 100 times we all should read. Okay? I'll tell you because I read this many times. This is a letter enclosure to letter to Madhudvisa, 16th May 1972. Yeah? You already pasted? Okay. Okay. So that letter, I would request all of you to please read. You'll get a better understanding about our position, spiritual position. Okay. Anybody else has any other questions?